Most people think financial struggle comes from not earning enough money. But if that were true, high earners would never live paycheck to paycheck. The reality is that millions of people increase their income while their stress increases with it. More money enters their lives, but peace never arrives. Bills still feel heavy. Emergencies still create panic. Savings still feel impossible. And despite working harder every year, they secretly feel like one bad month could destroy everything. That happens because income alone does not create financial security. Systems do. Most people have no financial structure. Their money simply flows wherever emotions, habits, pressure, and temptation send it. Every paycheck becomes temporary relief instead of long-term progress. But wealthy people understand something most people never truly learn. Money behaves differently when it is automated. The moment your finances stop depending entirely on memory, motivation, and self-control, your entire financial future begins to change. Automation transforms money from something emotional into something strategic. Instead of constantly reacting to life financially, you quietly begin building stability, protection, and freedom in the background every single month. The dangerous habit of spending before saving. One of the biggest financial traps in modern life is the habit of saving last. Most people pay everyone else before paying themselves. Rent gets paid, subscriptions get renewed, entertainment gets funded, shopping happens, restaurants take their portion. Then whatever survives at the end of the month becomes savings. Unfortunately, almost nothing survives because lifestyle always expands to consume available money. This is why so many people feel financially stuck, no matter how much they earn. Their income rises, but their spending rises even faster. A salary increase becomes a car loan. A promotion becomes a more expensive lifestyle. More income creates more financial pressure instead of more freedom, and the dangerous part is that this behavior often feels normal. Society constantly encourages people to reward themselves immediately. Social media normalizes expensive lifestyles that many people secretly cannot afford. People finance luxury while neglecting security. They buy comfort before building stability. Over time, this creates lives that look successful on the outside, but remain fragile underneath. The wealthy think differently about money flow. They understand that saving should happen first, not last. The moment income arrives, part of it automatically moves toward the future before emotions have time to interfere. This single habit quietly separates financially stable people from financially stressed people. Automation makes this process powerful because it removes temptation completely. Instead of trying to remain disciplined every month, the system already knows where the money should go. Savings happen automatically. Investments happen automatically. Emergency funds grow automatically. The future gets funded before unnecessary spending begins. Most people underestimate how emotional money really is. People spend when bored. They spend when stressed. They spend when lonely. They spend when tired. Emotional spending has become one of the most common forms of temporary escape in modern society. And because the purchases are often small individually, the financial damage feels invisible in the beginning. A streaming subscription here, a financed gadget there, frequent food deliveries, impulse online shopping, small upgrades that feel affordable. Individually, they seem harmless. But together, they quietly consume financial freedom. This is why automation matters so much. It protects your future from your impulses. It creates separation between money and emotion. Even small automated savings become life-changing over time because consistency is more powerful than intensity. Many people wait until they can save huge amounts before taking saving seriously. That mindset destroys years of potential growth. Financial stability is not built only by large actions. It is built through repeated intelligent behavior over long periods of time. A person saving a modest amount automatically every month for 10 years often becomes financially stronger than someone who earns more, but saves inconsistently. Another important advantage of automation is momentum. Financial progress stops depending on motivation and starts depending on systems. And systems continue functioning even during stressful seasons. Life becomes busy. Energy disappears. Unexpected problems arise. But automated systems keep moving your finances forward quietly in the background. That is why wealthy people obsess over systems more than motivation. They understand that motivation is temporary. Emotions change daily. But good systems continue working long after excitement fades away. One of the biggest reasons people remain financially trapped is because they keep restarting their financial lives emotionally. Every few months, they promise themselves they will budget better, save more, or become disciplined. But because nothing is automated, their progress depends entirely on willpower. Eventually, stress returns, and old habits take over again. Automation breaks that cycle. It transforms financial growth from an occasional effort into a permanent process. The moment saving becomes automatic, your future stops depending on your mood. And perhaps the most powerful part of all is that automated saving slowly changes your relationship with money itself. You stop feeling like someone constantly trying to catch up financially. You begin feeling organized, intentional, protected. That emotional shift alone reduces enormous amounts of financial stress, because real financial peace does not come from impressing people. It comes from knowing your future is quietly becoming safer every single month. Why automated bills create more peace than more income? Most people think financial peace comes from making more money. But there are people earning large salaries who still live with anxiety every month. They fear checking their bank accounts. They constantly move money around trying to survive until payday. Their minds remain overwhelmed by deadlines, missed payments, and unpredictable expenses. That happens because income alone cannot fix disorder. Financial chaos is mentally exhausting, constantly remembering due dates, worrying about bills, reacting to banking notifications, and trying to avoid overdraft charges slowly drains emotional energy. Many people live in a permanent state of financial tension without even realizing it anymore. And the sad part is that this stress quietly affects every area of life. Financial anxiety damages sleep. It affects confidence. It creates relationship tension. It reduces focus. It even influences physical health, because the body was never designed to live under constant pressure. One of the smartest things you can automate is your bills, because automation removes uncertainty, and uncertainty is one of the biggest sources of financial stress. Late fees alone silently destroy wealth over time. Missed payments lead to penalties. Overdraft charges consume money unnecessarily. Financial disorganization becomes expensive. Yet many people normalize these losses because they happen gradually. But when bills are automated correctly, something powerful happens psychologically. Your mind becomes calmer. You stop constantly worrying about forgetting important payments. You stop living in reaction mode financially. Life begins feeling more stable because the essentials are already handled. Another hidden benefit of automated bills is mental clarity. Constant financial decision-making creates decision fatigue. Every day people ask themselves, can I afford this? What bill is next? Should I delay this payment? How much money is left? Over time, these decisions become emotionally exhausting. And exhausted people often make poor financial choices. Automation reduces unnecessary decisions. It preserves mental energy for bigger opportunities and more important priorities. This is why many financially successful people intentionally simplify their money systems. Simplicity creates consistency. Many wealthy people separate their finances strategically. They use different accounts for different purposes. One for bills, one for savings, one for investing, one for spending. This structure creates financial clarity. Every dollar already has direction before temptation arrives, and direction changes behavior. People who struggle financially often treat all money as available money. But wealthy thinking assigns money specific jobs immediately. Some money protects the future, some money handles responsibilities, some money builds assets, some money funds enjoyment. Without structure, everything mixes together emotionally. That is when overspending becomes easy. Automation also creates predictability. Predictability creates control, and control creates confidence. Once your essential financial responsibilities are organized automatically, life stops feeling so unstable. Another important thing automation does is reduce emotional avoidance. Many people avoid looking at their finances because money feels stressful. They delay checking accounts. They postpone budgeting. They ignore financial problems until they become emergencies. But automation reduces this emotional resistance because the system handles repetitive responsibilities consistently. This is why financial organization matters so much. Organized finances create emotional peace in ways people rarely expect. And perhaps one of the greatest financial truths is this: money problems are often not only mathematical problems, they are emotional problems too. Financial disorder creates emotional disorder, but structure creates calm. Automation does not magically make someone rich overnight, but it creates stability. And stability is one of the most valuable financial advantages a person can build. The silent power of automated investing. Most people know investing is important. The problem is that most people never stay consistent long enough for investing to truly change their lives. Some people delay investing because they think they need large amounts of money to begin. Others wait for the perfect time. Many become afraid whenever markets fall. Some start enthusiastically for a few months, then stop completely when life becomes busy again. Meanwhile, years quietly pass. And that is what makes inconsistency so expensive financially. The greatest advantage wealthy people often have is not intelligence, it is time. Their money begins growing earlier and continues growing consistently for longer periods. Automation solves one of the biggest investing problems in the world: emotions. Human beings are emotional investors by nature. People panic during downturns. They become greedy during market excitement. They constantly react instead of staying patient. But wealth is rarely built through emotional reactions. It is built through consistency. This is why automated investing becomes so powerful. The system continues investing, whether you feel confident or afraid. Money keeps moving toward assets automatically every month without requiring emotional energy. And over time, this consistency becomes life-changing. Compounding rewards patience more than intensity. Small investments repeated consistently over many years often become more powerful than large investments made inconsistently. But most people underestimate this because slow growth feels invisible in the beginning. Modern society trains people to chase fast results. Immediate gratification dominates everything. People want quick success, quick profits, and quick transformations, but wealth usually grows quietly, slowly, repeatedly, almost invisibly at first. This is why many people quit too early. They cannot emotionally tolerate gradual progress. But automated investing removes that emotional pressure. You stop obsessing over short-term movement because the system already knows the long-term mission. Your job becomes consistency instead of prediction. Another important advantage of automation is protection against lifestyle inflation. This is one of the biggest financial traps high earners face. Most people increase spending immediately after increasing income. A raise becomes a bigger apartment. A bonus becomes luxury spending. Higher income becomes higher financial pressure. Instead of building freedom, income growth builds dependency. But automated investing changes that pattern. The moment income increases, investments increase too. Part of every raise automatically strengthens your future before your lifestyle expands. That habit alone can completely transform someone's financial trajectory over 20 or 30 years. Another beautiful thing about automated investing is that it creates invisible progress. Even during busy seasons of life, your wealth continues building quietly in the background. You do not need to think about money every hour to become financially stronger. In fact, many wealthy people succeed financially because they avoid emotional overreaction. They trust systems more than temporary feelings. And this reveals one of the most important lessons about wealth. Financial success is not usually built through dramatic moments. It is built through repeated ordinary actions performed consistently for long periods of time. People love talking about million-dollar business ideas and overnight success stories. But most real wealth is created through patience, structure, discipline, and time. Automation simply makes those qualities easier to maintain. And perhaps the most underrated benefit of investing automation is psychological confidence. Watching your investments grow steadily changes how you think about the future. You stop feeling completely dependent on active income alone. You begin realizing that your money itself can quietly work for you over time. That realization changes everything, because true financial freedom begins the moment your future stops depending entirely on constant labor and emotional survival. Building a financial system that works even on your worst days. One of the greatest financial mistakes people make is depending completely on willpower. Willpower sounds powerful in theory, but in reality, it is unreliable. Stress weakens it, fatigue weakens it, emotional seasons weaken it, and life eventually tests everyone. This is why systems matter more than motivation. Most people approach finances emotionally. They become highly disciplined briefly after hearing motivational advice or experiencing financial pain, but eventually life becomes busy again. Energy disappears. Unexpected problems arise. Old habits slowly return. That cycle repeats endlessly because nothing permanent was built underneath the motivation. But automation changes financial behavior at the structural level. Your money no longer depends entirely on daily discipline. Savings continue growing even when life feels stressful. Investments continue building during difficult seasons. Bills continue getting handled properly even during emotional periods. That stability becomes incredibly powerful over time. Think about how many people restart financial goals every year. They create budgets repeatedly. They promise to save more. They attempt spending restrictions temporarily, but because their systems never changed, their financial behavior eventually returns to old patterns. Automation breaks that cycle by creating consistency without constant emotional effort. And consistency is what builds wealth. One of the hidden reasons wealthy people become wealthier over time is because their systems continue functioning regardless of mood. They do not rely on feeling motivated to make good financial decisions every month. The structure already exists. This is also why financially successful people simplify their lives intentionally. Complexity creates emotional exhaustion. Too many accounts, too many financial surprises, too many disorganized obligations eventually overwhelm people mentally. Automation creates smoothness, flow, predictability, and predictability creates peace. Another important lesson is that automation protects you from your future self. There will be moments where emotions tempt you to abandon discipline. There will be stressful seasons where spending emotionally feels comforting. There will be times where you feel tired of thinking long-term. Systems protect you during those moments. That is why automation is not only about convenience, it is about protection. It protects your future from temporary emotions. Many people search endlessly for financial breakthroughs while ignoring the systems that actually create stability. They chase more income while their financial foundation remains weak. But more money without structure often creates bigger problems instead of more peace. The goal is not simply to earn more. The goal is to organize money intelligently, enough that life stops feeling financially fragile all the time, and perhaps This is the greatest truth of all. Going broke rarely happens suddenly. It usually happens through years of emotional spending, delayed planning, financial disorganization, and inconsistent habits. In the same way, financial stability is usually built gradually through repeated intelligent systems that continue operating month after month. That is why automation matters so much, because at the end of the day, the people who achieve financial peace are not always the people who earn the most money. Very often, they are simply the people whose money has structure, direction, and systems protecting it quietly in the background every single day.